called libOGC contained code stolen from Nintendo. A giant pulsing beacon that attracts lawyers. But they didn't know that much of the rest of libOGC's code was also stolen from an open source project without any attribution. And that crossed Fail Overflow's ethical principle against stealing two things. Everybody gets one. On the plus side, it seems like all the Wii homebrew resources will still be available, at least until Jack Black is in. Oh, because Jack Black found large parts of Spain, Portugal, Andorra, and southwestern France experienced a sudden power outage this morning. Power has since been restored to about half of Spain, with the rest hopefully coming back tomorrow. Traffic lights, elevators, and electronic doors stopped working. Shops and restaurants were plunged into darkness, and the Madrid Open tennis tournament was suspended. God! While some were initially concerned about a cyber attack, Spain and Portugal's primary power supplier and minor G.I. Joe villain, Red Electrica, said no, this was the result of grid oscillation caused by extreme temperature variations in Spain. Katy Perry, there is a social media opportunity here. Variations like that may be having a strong effect in that region due to hefty reliance on renewable energy sources like wind and solar, which successfully powered 100% of Spain's energy grid for the first time on April 16th. I mean, hey, it's great for the planet. It's just that for various technical reasons, renewable energy is often less resilient to sudden environmental changes. It's a challenge that should be solved soon. Until you die. Ground News helps you break free from it and read between the headlines. simply wanted less guardrails. Competitors packing guy to misbehave as much as other checkpoints, which meant they were bored. Thankfully, after the journal demonstrated Meta's ability to sex users, Meta added some guardrails back. And other Meta users, their anti-learned that Reddit leadership doesn't consider the site a social network. And the judge doesn't understand why anyone would reply to Discovery on Twitter. Both things that I'm also going to blame Meta for. Leakers on the Chip Hell forums claim that RTX 5080 Super and 5070 Super are in the works, featuring 8 According to these sources, the 5070 Super will get an additional 6 GB frame, totaling 18 GB of memory, while the 5080 Super would jump from 60 to 40 GB, which would make this card much better, higher resolution, and more important, prevent more accumulation. Complaints about how gaming isn't even worth it. DRAM, is this DRAM fans, etc. And astronaut Don Petit returned to Earth from the International Space Station on the 20th, his 70th birthday. Which he wasn't super happy about. The aches and pains apparently virtually disappeared when he's up there. He replied that, well, that's because he didn't feel too good, because all the aches came back, and that just leads me to wonder in space, there's long-term health. It'd be fun, even more fun, the idea of you coming back here on Monday to protect me. That would be awesome. I think we'd have a good time. You know what?
Take a ball out to a dispenser and then we can shove it anywhere around the ring. We can choose like how much power and like what direction we want to fling it. You can also add like forward spin as well as back spin, which is useful for when you hit other marbles. So let's just, I mean, I don't really know how the power works. I mean, if we aim there, is that going to go too far? Oh yes, okay, that goes way too far. Oh dear. However, we can grab another marble, perhaps go behind it. Oh no.